that he comes into our lives, and often his will is disruptive. And when it is disruptive, sometimes it feels destructive. And you wonder in your own mind, God, are you killing me? When in fact, God is preparing you for something bigger than yourself and greater than yourself and stronger than yourself. And it may be years before your questions are answered and you begin to understand why you had to go through what you had to go through to get to where you had to get. I have come to realize that in life there are seeds and there are weeds. And the seeds and the weeds come up at the same time, like the wheat and the tare. That you can have good moments and bad moments simultaneously to the point that you don't really know how to enjoy the good moments because you feel the bad. And I don't know what it is about the human experience, but our attention seems to be distracted by the pain we go through to the point that we ignore the powerful blessings of God in our life. You'll scroll past all the good comments on your social media and find that one bad comment and focus in on that. I'm a pastor, I'm an author, I'm an evangelist. I've inspired millions of people around the world. But I'm just as susceptible as anybody else to life suffering. Nobody gets a pass, nobody gets an exemption. I've discovered that my authentic experience requires that I have more than theology and more than commentary and more than rhetoric and more than analogies and more than artistry, that it has to come from a deeper place, that it has to come from a bleeding place. Jesus gives a parable about the wheat and the tare, and the most amazing thing about the wheat and the tare is that they both grew up together simultaneously. And there's not a person in this room that can't see wheat and tare coexisting at the same time. And if you remember the parable, they said, let us go in there and remove the tare. And Jesus says, leave them alone. Leave them alone. The weeds have just as much purpose as the seeds do. Let it all grow up together, because Jesus knew that there was nothing in the weeds that could kill the seeds. And you have to know that there's nothing in the weeds that will kill the seeds, even though they're threatening and even though they're overwhelming. And sometimes the weeds get so high you can't even see your own garden. You must understand that joy coexists with suffering. That is what the anointing is made out of. That it's made out of crushing and myrrh and bitterness and sweetness and calamus all mixed together. That if you took away the suffering, you wouldn't be anointed. You have to understand that God knows what he's doing. Joseph told his brothers about his dream. You intended to harm me, but God intended for my good. He allowed you to betray me for my good. I am stronger because of your weakness. I am stronger because of your wickedness. I am stronger because of your strife. You taught me that I didn't need you to be able to stand. You taught me that you can't vote on my favor. You taught me that my glory is not in my coat of many colors. And so I thank you for hurting me. And I thank you for crushing me. And I thank you for crushing my heart, because you know what? I am broken in all the right places. All the right places, like a key that unlocks a door. I'm broken just right to unlock my next dimension of grace. And you can only have that kind of faith, that kind of knowing, that kind of reality when you agree with the Apostle Paul in Romans 8:28, when he says that all things, not just the good things, but all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, who are the called according to his purpose. It's working for your good when it doesn't feel good. It's working for your good when tears are running down your face. It's working for your good when you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You have to believe that it's working for your good. You have to understand that a bread maker always kneads the dough. And kneading it is what makes it rise. Pressing it down is what makes it goes up. Putting it up under pressure is the reality that proves that I am called according to his purpose and not my comfort. I am called according to his purpose and not your opinion. I am called according to his purpose and not my convenience. That God didn't come in my life to secure my convenience. That he comes into our lives and often his will is disruptive. And when it is disruptive, sometimes it feels destructive. And you wonder in your own mind, God, are you killing me? When in fact, God is preparing you for something bigger than yourself and greater than yourself and stronger than yourself. And it may be years before your questions are answered and you begin to understand why you had to go through what you had to go through to get to where you had to get. And in the meantime, that's where faith operates. Faith stands in the gap between you understanding and you experiencing. You hold on with all of your might and you believe him in the storm and the hurricane and the tsunamis of life, and some on boards and some on broken pieces, made it safely to the other side. The ship doesn't have to stay intact for you to arrive alive.